Hey guys, welcome back to 25 Sweet Peas. Today I have a pretty fun video for you. I have recently become part of the Sally Hansen squad, and they were so kind enough to send over their Sunset Splash collection, which is what I will be swatching for you today. So if you have not heard of their Miracle Gel line, basically it is their two-step system and their answer to gel that you can have a long-lasting manicure without a light, with curing and all that jazz. So you just use the polish in this system and then you use a special top coat. So let's go over all of the swatches right now. First up we have La Vida Lilac, which is kind of a funny name for it because it's actually more of a periwinkly blue. Hopefully the camera will pull it up, but I'm not really sure if it will. So as you can see, it has a decent formula. It is going on rather sheer, and one thing I've noticed about all of these polishes is that the brush is kind of thick and it kind of makes brush strokes even in a cream polish because it just pulls too hard on the polish as you apply it to the nail. But there is one coat of La Vida Lilac. Now it is time for our second coat of La Vida Lilac, and even though I do like the brush because it is so wide, as you can see, it just kind of pulls the polish a bit too hard even when you're going super lightly. But there is two coats, and that actually did allow us to reach full coverage in two coats. And as you can see, this does dry down to a fairly nice shiny finish. However, it is always suggested to wear a top coat, and this Miracle Gel system that obviously does not need a light has a special top coat. And since we are swatching, I'm not gonna put it on in all of the clips, but in all of the final pictures that I will be showing you, they do have a top coat on. Now we're moving on to the pink, and this one is called Smartease, and it is just a really nice light pink. As you can see, it is also rather sheer, and this one does have the same brush problem. I think it's just the brush on all of these polishes that kind of cause that. But even though it is sheer, it like covered evenly. So there is one coat of Smartease. It is now time for our second coat of Smarties. And this is one that, depending on how thick or thin you do your cuts, you might need 2 to 3 coats. I will be showing you guys 2. Although sometimes, as you can see, like right there, up in that top corner, it could actually use a little bit more polish. But 2 to 3 coats, depending on how thick or thin you do your polish. So there is 2 coats. The photo that you guys are going to see does have 3. Now we're moving on to a corally orange called Bourbon Belle. And this is a really nice kind of a summery orange, and that would transition you into fall. So there's one coat, and out of all of the creams in this little collection, this one is definitely the best. You don't get nearly as many sheer spots or anything like that. So there is one coat. Now it is time for our second coat of Bourbon Belle. And our second coat will give us full coverage. This one also, the brush, I believe, like it just feels softer. I don't have so many of those issues that I was struggling with on the other polishes. So there is 2 coats, and that has reached full coverage. Next up we have a kind of a dusty lavender holo, and this one is called Metro Midnight. This one is really pretty, and it's not one of those like super obvious linear holos, but it definitely shines in the sunlight. So there is one coat. As you can see, it is kind of wanting to pull towards this edge, and I don't believe it was because I had too much on the brush. So I'm just going to be a little extra careful. But there is one coat. It is still sheer, so we will need to wait for this to dry for a second coat. It's now time for our second coat of Metro Midnight, and this is one of those shades that could be 2 to 3 coats depending on how thick or thin you do your coats. I have it covered well into this time, but the other day when I was using it for something, I needed about 30. So really it just depends on how thick or thin you do. Here we are good with 2 coats. So let's take a look at the picture. Next up, and lastly for this little video, we have Sundown Socialite, and this is probably my favorite one. I did save the best for last. This one is kind of like an orangey, pinky, metallic-y polish, and it's not like a full metallic because it's more like a flaky metallic, if that makes sense. So it's kind of made up of a whole bunch of little flakies and they kind of turn into a metallic. However, the formula on this one is not the most fun. So as you can see, as I pulled it down the nail, like the brush was too aggressive for the polish, and it kind of, as you go down the nail, it kind of pulls off the polish at the same time and creates little bald spots. There's one in this corner that I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's nothing like earth-shattering painfully to deal with. It's just kind of annoying, so something to think about, but it's definitely not a deterrent for me using this polish because it is gorgeous. It has like this really pink shimmer in it, and it just really, it's just lovely. So there is one coat of Sundown Socialite. Now it is time for our second coat, and the second coat is hit or miss. Really, this is a 2 to 3 coater, depending on how well it's behaving. Right now, it looks like it's behaving pretty well, and we're going to have full coverage in 2 coats. However, in my swatch pictures, I believe I did 3 because of those balding spots. But this time, it was acting better, and my room is cooler at the moment, so sometimes the temperature can play into that. And I think that is honestly one of the big contributing factors to this one misbehaving. But realistically, it wasn't that big of a deal, and it is still a gorgeous polish and has a really lovely finish. So there is 2 coats of Sundown Socialite. It's so pretty. And here is your final look at all of these swatches. Of course, there are full-size pictures on the blog today. These polishes shall be available everywhere you can find normal Sally Hansen polishes, so Targets, Walmarts, Walgreens, CVS's, all places like that. And I believe sometimes even Ulta Beauty has them. I know mine doesn't necessarily keep up to date on it, but I do know they carry some from time to time. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed these swatches. Be sure to head to the blog today as well, because there will be some nail art looks on it in the post all about these polishes, plus a little bit more about the top coat and so on. So yeah, that will be linked in the description box below, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!